2015 farmland returns are likely to be much lower than they were in recent years, leading to negative returns on cash rent farmland. This will put downward pressure on cash rents. This video summarizes those arguments which were made on a May 19, 2015 FarmDoc Daily article. This figure shows operator and land returns, which is the return that can be split between the farmer and landowner. It shows those from 2000 to 2014 along with a projection for 2015. As can be seen, operator and land returns in 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013 were higher than they are projected for currently, averaging something close to $450 per acre. In 2015, we're projecting those returns to be $226 per acre. Cash rents have increased in recent years. As can be seen in this graph, the red line shows average cash rent. Those cash rents increased because of higher operator and land returns, but now those average cash rents are above operator and land returns, meaning that the farmer has a negative return. In 2014, average cash rent for this type of land was $296 per acre. If that rent remains, we're looking at a $226 operator and land return, so there's a negative cash flow of about $60 to $70 for the farmer. More detail on operator and land returns and cash rents are shown in this figure, which is taken from the May 19th article. Operator and land returns are given for 4 Illinois regions as indicated at the top of the table: Central High, North, Central Low, and South. These are ranged from left to right based on expected yields. Central High has 198 bushel corn yield expected, while South has a 160 bushel yield. Operator and land returns are given for 5 different price scenarios, which are the prices there are multiplied by the expected yields to arrive at crop revenue, and ARC and crop insurance payments are also included, and those ARC and crop insurance payments go down with higher prices. Also given are average 2014 cash rents, which you see on the table. $293 is the average cash rent for Central High farmland, and that goes down to $163 per acre for Southern Illinois. Those are averages. Farmland rents or cash rents will vary tremendously around those averages. For some more detailed comparisons, let's take the Central High case. The $3.75 corn price and $9.50 soybean price are slightly above where cash bids are for fall delivery. If we use that price scenario, we come up with $226 of operator and land returns. The average cash rent for Central High productivity farmland is $293. The $293 is $61 above the operator and land return, meaning that the farmer would have a minus $61 return. We've heard reports from the Fed and the Illinois Society of Professional Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers that farmland cash rents have declined between $20 and $25 per acre. Even given this decline, farmers would still have a negative return for average levels of cash rent. The other regions have similar sorts of negative returns to farmers: minus $77 for North, minus $73 for Central Low, minus $71 for the South. Now let's look at a higher price, and in particular the one that I'm going to take is $4.50 corn, $11 in soybeans. There's some belief that that will be the long run price. Here for Central Illinois, you can see that that results in a $298 return. Average cash rent is $293, leaving $5 return to the farmer. You can see that the other regions have slightly negative returns. What this would suggest is that if we return to those long-run prices, as many would believe, and some would even suggest that that's a bit optimistic, we would have to have cash rent declines to happen for the farmer to have positive and enough returns at those levels. This would then mean that we're likely to see downward pressure on cash rents even if we're looking at higher prices in the fall, and if we're in the $4.50 to $11 range, we will still see downward pressures being placed on cash rents. Cash rents have increased recent years, and this figure now shows average cash rents in Illinois as reported by NASS. Those were $132 per acre average in 2006. In 2014, those averaged $234 per acre. Those cash rents were below average operator and land returns from 2010 through 2013, but now they're above it. It's likely that average cash rents have overshot where we are currently at as far as returns, leading to the need for some reductions in cash flows, and cash rents would be included in those cash flows. Part of the reason why we are now looking at negative operator and land returns is the increase in non-land cost. Fertilizer, seed, chemicals, drying, storage, power equipment cost, and overhead cost have increased in the past several years. Non-land costs were roughly $300 in 2006. Those reached a high of over $600, close to $615 in 2013, and they've moderated slightly, but not a lot. Again, this is part of the reason why we're looking at negative returns currently, and if we do not see reductions in non-land cost, with the prime ones, the bigger ones being fertilizer, seed, chemicals, and machinery depreciation in coming years, we will need to see reductions in other cash flows, and in particular cash rents. Table 1, which is shown here, is actually projected for 2015 operator and land returns, but if we do not see substantial declines in non-land cost, it will also be applicable to 2016. Then, if we're looking at prices of $375 and $950 come this fall for 2016 delivery, this will be our projections of operator and land returns, and again that will be below where average cash rents were for at least 2014 and would need to signal a decline in cash rents. If we're looking at prices in that level, and if they continue to remain in that level, we would have to see between $60 and $70 decreases just to have positive farmland returns, and over that, roughly a third of the cash rent would have to be declined for the farmer to have a significant positive farmer return. If, on the other hand, price expectations for 2016 are $4.50 for corn, $11 for soybeans, we'll see that those operator and land returns are higher, but we would still need to see declines from 2014 cash rent levels. It's likely that in 2016 we will be seeing downward pressure on cash rents because price expectations will likely be in the low $4 range and maybe high $3 range. So overall, we are looking at downward pressure being put on cash rents in 2016, and that will be particularly so if we do not see declines in non-land cost.